As you might suspect, I too have something to say about President Trump's, and as John Oliver says, those are two words that still shouldn't be said together, but President Trump's horrendous decision to back out of the Paris Climate Accords. On the very surface, the optics of it are just horrible. I mean, here we have nearly 200 countries agreeing on something, and we, the United States, back out of that agreement and stand firmly now with Syria and Nicaragua. Nearly 200 countries versus 3 countries. And Nicaragua only didn't sign because they thought the accords didn't go far enough. And while Syria, we know, has their own problems. So really, it's the United States against the world. And that says something, that maybe the world knows something that we don't, or that we refuse to know. But also increasingly, this administration seems to be all about undoing anything that Obama did during his term, during his 8 years in office. We saw it with the travel ban. We wanted to make things more restrictive. We want to build a wall in Mexico to keep out immigrants. And we saw the passage of, or the reform of the Affordable Care Act with the whatever they want to call it. But yet with each measure, we see that this administration is just about trying to undo what Obama does, regardless of how the policy looks. And again, the travel ban has been struck down twice. Each ban has been struck down by the federal courts, and now it's going for final adjudication in the Supreme Court. The healthcare reform, well, it's hardly healthcare reform. How do you have healthcare reform when the new bill kicks people off of healthcare instead of increasing their coverage? What a joke. And it's already been said in the Senate that will not pass. And now we have the backing out of the Paris Peace Accords. Now look, I am not one of these tree-hugging people. I don't know if climate change is real or anything, but this I do know. Regardless of how you feel, whether climate change is real or not, climate change policy is really simply about treating our Earth with respect and doing what we can to leave our Earth in a better place than we found it, to leave our Earth in a better place for future generations. It's simply about respect. And as Jimmy Carter wrote in a book several years ago, it is Christian, it is very Christian to be caring about the earth. And in fact, when you look at the ancient African religions and many of the other religions in the world, they are rooted in respect for Mother Earth, respecting the wind, worshiping the wind, the rain, the seasons, the ground that we walk on, the crops that we grow. And here we are in the United States, the largest nation in the world, saying fully on that, we'll do whatever we want. And that is horrible, my friends, just horrible. We, as the largest nation in the world, or let's say the most powerful nation, since China is larger, we have an obligation to lead. And what we're now doing is abdicating that position. We're saying, China, go ahead, be the leader of the free world. We're seeing France, the president of France, saying to scientists, come on over to France. We'll respect you. You can do your research here, and we will appreciate everything that you do. So we are giving away our talent. We are saying to our talent, go to other countries, do what you can, and we don't care because we're going to do whatever we want. And any reliance and any thought that the coal industry is going to come back and be dominant is foolishness. In 1960, President Kennedy then said that we are going to go to the moon. And with 10 years of research and everybody working feverishly towards that goal, we made it to the moon. Do you not think that with everybody working feverishly towards doing what they can to reverse climate change, whether we reach that goal of reducing the temperatures by 2 degrees, or as Trump would say, even by a little bit, that's still a little bit more than what it is. And that in and of itself would be a success. We cannot keep going and digging up fuels, digging up the earth for fuels. We see with fracking what it's doing to our water supply, where there are earthquakes. We see how dirty coal mining is and how dangerous it is for those who do it. Here where I live, in the early 20th century and the late 19th century, we had brickyards making bricks. Great jobs, yes. But the result is there's a row of houses in that town called Widows Row, because the jobs, even though they paid well, and even though blacks earned as much as whites, it was detrimental to the health and well-being of those who worked in it, and invariably cut the lives short of so many men, leaving their widows and children to fend for themselves. We should not want that to repeat that again. We need to do better. Clean energy is our future, be it wind energy, be it solar energy, or any other alternative forms of energy. There is just so much going on. And I believe that we will still be a leader because people want to do this. They are challenged by this. Only fools, and yes, only fools want to revert the clock. And yes, our president is a fool. We have to do better. We have to look forward. We cannot be about making America great again. We need to be about making America even greater than it is. And we can only do that by looking to our future, by producing and investing in clean energy sources that will be more efficient and provide us with even greater power than fossil fuels could ever do, and provide us with unlimited supply of energy that not only is more efficient, but ultimately would be much, much cheaper for us. This is a foolish decision by the president, but what more can we expect? And finally, let me talk another foolish decision as this president continues the Republican policies or the Republican methods of not proclaiming June as lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender Pride Month. This president promised and said that he would be our greatest friend to the LGBT community, but that has not rung true at all. And what we've seen, instead of friendliness towards the LGBT community, we see a hostility. And so let him continue to have his head in the sand. We will still march on. We will still have our pride festivals. We will still be proud of who we are. We will still be there to support those who need our support. And we will not be going back into the closet.